I want to talk about another recruit also besides Bralan Womack, but we'll go ahead and lock him in first. So he went ahead. For those who don't know, he's a 5-star safety. He's the number 2 safety in this recruiting class. Ohio State already landed the number 1 safety in the class in Blaine Bradford, but Womack is a 5-star safety from the state of Mississippi. He went ahead and set a commitment date for August 23rd, and Ohio State is the only northern school that he is looking at. He's choosing between Auburn, Florida, Texas A&M, and Ohio State. So, he's got 3 SEC schools that he's looking at instead of, or in addition to Ohio State. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can land him. He would be the 3rd safety that they would have for this class. But as we talked about before, Gladwell would probably move to linebacker just based off of his physique, and they would, have Womack back there. But where do you think the chances are of landing Bralan, who also made a visit this weekend to Ohio State? Like he was there. So
I think we're landing him. I think we're landing him.
Okay.
I'm very confident. I think that from reading the tea leaves, trying to see the forest from the trees, it looks like he really likes Ohio State. Looks like he has a really good relationship there with Gary Area and Coach Tim Walton. I think like Ohio State again, the way that recruits talk about their visits, it's a little bit different from. It sounds like it's a little bit different from what they're getting at other institutions and other programs. I think that he sees like what Ohio State is doing in the safety position, in the corner position, in the whole secondary. Listen, Ohio State puts out a lot of DBs. I think that just about every 3 years you see it. I do believe that he enjoys being there, and don't get me wrong. Texas A&M would be a good landing spot. I think Auburn would be a good landing spot. I think Florida would be an awesome landing spot because I think next year and like over the next 2 years, Florida's going to be like in the conversation for a championship.
I think Florida's the biggest hurdle for Ohio State to clear.
Yeah, because I think Florida right now is in a good position right now. So that's the only team that I'm worried about. So
yeah. And before you go ahead and take that down, your who to follow, Michigan football is your top who to follow over there in the corner next to Rory and KD. So that tells me where your algorithm's at.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
But wait. Before my credit, you see, I don't follow them.
That's true. Yes. But that would have never popped up on mine. I'll say that. So, other than Bralan, another big-time recruit actually picked a recruitment date and actually had Ohio State in his top schools. And it's someone both of us have talked about extensively on this podcast. That's Jackson Cantwell. Cantwell actually went ahead and narrowed his school down list to 4 schools. And surprisingly, Missouri wasn't one of them. He's from Nixa, Missouri. And a lot of people thought they were going to be in the mix because of the fact that it had been reported that he wanted to stay in a smaller city. But the schools he's got on his list are Ohio State.
There was someone else missing too. There was someone else missing too.
Yeah, we'll get there. Ohio State, Georgia, Miami, and Oregon. Those were the 4 schools that he's got left. And he decided to make his commitment date actually here at the end of the month. I should be, right here in a couple of weeks, and he's taking an official visit to Oregon right before then as well. So I believe his commitment date is the 28th. He's taking the visit on the 26th and 27th to Eugene. So that doesn't bode well for Ohio State's chances to land him from Oregon. But at least we know who isn't going to land him, and that is that school up north. They were noticeably absent from his finalist list as well. So that is certainly great. So if Ohio State doesn't land him, at least Michigan's not.
Yeah, it was really funny that not seeing Missouri on there was one thing. I was really surprised with that. But I was surprised when we didn't see Teton up there. But it was very hilarious because of how they see themselves. And noticing, hey, sometimes when you want to go with the big boys, you probably shouldn't spend all your money and put all your eggs in one basket.
They spent all their money on Bryce.
Yeah, and now you're kind of in an eco situation, but a quiet one. But
Do you still think
this
they have a
is
chance to
still,
land him?
huh?
Do you think Ohio State still has a chance to land Jackson?
I thought not. All right, Missouri and Michigan not being there gives me more hope. I think trying to beat out Oregon and Miami, this is gonna be really hard.
Yeah.
I do think
I,
we're ahead of Georgia, but I think beating Oregon, like especially Oregon, is gonna be really
I think
hard.
Oregon's going to be the biggest problem. I agree.
Yeah, and
They're,
I saw someone earlier like they're asking like why is Miami up there for like Miami being up there for money? I'm like, dude, you can't forget like Mario Cristobal is known for building offensive linemen. Like that's his name to claim to fame. So
Peninsula.
yeah, exactly. So that's why Miami is in this race. It's not just Jackson Cantwell is not one of those guys that has to worry about NIL being the deciding
No.
factor of where he goes.
No. Yeah, I mean, he's going to be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. He knows that money's coming. So it's just where he wants to get developed. And I'll tell you what, if Tyler Bowen lands him, whoo, man.
Yeah. Oh man, give him a
Great
raise.
start. Great start to his first year as the offensive line coach. Yeah, give him a raise already. You're right. So it'd be interesting to see where both of those guys end up in the recruitment.
Mhm.
So next thing we want to hit is Ross Bjork has heard the voice of Buckeye fans, and he's trying to make them a little happier when it comes to kickoff times. You know, a lot of Buckeye fans were bitching and moaning last year about all the big noon kickoffs. I know you were one of them. And look, Fox obviously has made that their staple time, so they want to have their premier program play as many games as possible at noon. Bjork has started talking to Big Ten to the Big Ten about,
Mhm.
and really Fox in general, to try to get them some more night games. So we'll see if Texas ends up being a night game. That doesn't seem likely. That still seems like it's going to be a noon game. But I'll give Bjork some credit for at least trying to talk to the networks and trying to change something. I don't know how much good it's going to do. I think that would kind of need to be a conference wide
Mhm.
discussion. But I applaud him for giving it a try. What do you think?
I'm happy he's trying to. I mean, he talked about that Texas game. He said he's working hard to make sure that's a night game. I think that's a bit like what that Texas game could be, man, for Ohio State. That's a recruit game. Like
Yeah,
every
it's going to
recruit,
be already.
yeah, every recruit that's like there's gonna be a lot of 5-star guys on those sidelines.
Yeah.
If not almost all of them. So a night game experience is what you want. Again, like, and then people ask, what's night games got to do with recruiting? Trust me, it correlates. Night games,
Oh,
like kids like that stuff. That's the big stage. That's what you want to be on. So, like in my perfect world, that Texas game is on CBS at night. Oh, that would be beautiful for me. But I'm happy about it. I think Ross Bjork he's an awesome AD. I really do. Um, once he gets some renovations on the stadium, I'll give him more credit. But I mean,
he needs to fix
yeah,
the basketball program.
you know what I was going to ask you about because he tweeted about that. Making it known that basketball is not like is in the forefront of his mind.
That's not an afterthought. He's
Yeah.
basically saying that the basketball program's got higher expectations for what they've been doing now, and like they're going to spend money on that program as well. And perhaps that's part of the reason why the women's team lost their best player to the transfer portal. Cody McMahon went ahead and said hasta la vista for her final year, and perhaps it's because the NIL money's kind of shifting hands. But I don't know. I like I said, I'll give Bjork some credit for going ahead and trying to talk to Fox and NBC, CBS, all of the Big Ten network partners to try to change something. But Fox is going to do what they want, quite frankly. Like Ohio State gets some views, and that's probably what they're going to do.